Every year between July and September, the 16th century tall ship replica Duyfken, based at the National Maritime Museum at Darling Harbour, has to undergo some maintenance.
Initially she went out to fetch back the ensign staff here, or the flag staff, so that we can give it a scrape and a birthday. It's looking a little tired.
And Melissa, or Super Mel as we like to call her, is just the person for the job, under the guidance of bosun Andrew.
And now she's just retrieving the remnants of the spritsail halyard block. So we had a gear failure a couple of weeks ago, and that little dog end was left up there the whole time.
Andrew was in the circus. Hey, well done.
So we're doing a lot of maintenance on Duyfken at the moment. So yesterday we took the mainstay down, we brought it against the shrouds, and we've given it a coat of Stockholm tar, which is made from pine trees, and it comes from Scandinavia, which is why it's called Stockholm tar. Used as like a waterproofing for the manila, so natural fiber to keep water out, soaks into the fibers. Yesterday we took off the brace blocks for both the forecourse and the fore topsail. We found new ones and we've stropped them, so we can replace them today nice and quickly. So I am going to be tying the new topsail brace blocks onto the stay so that we can re-rove the topsail braces. He is seizing on the bitter end of the fore braces.
Yes, it's a lot of strange names, but you get to learn them pretty quickly.
Okay, we're gonna...
Mel started at the museum as a sailing volunteer about 3.5 years ago, and has now discovered a passion for all things tall ships.
Won't forget the stories. Oh no, I won't. The tales of old tobacco road. Yeah, old tobacco road.
Getting them even's probably tricky as well, isn't it?
Yep.
I won't forget the stories. Oh no, I won't. The tales of old.
Tied it up here where it was skinnier, and we're just working it down to where we actually want it. It's just a simple flow pitch around the stay. So we got one on, worked it down, and so now we're putting the topsail brace blocks on. So the braces are run through 2 sets of blocks before they come down to deck. On the course, it goes from the stay back to the yard, back to the stay. So it goes backwards and forwards through to another set of blocks before they come down to deck. And the topsail goes back to a set of blocks to one just above the pinrail and then down to deck.
So Andrew's just attaching the top blocks to the mainstay up there.
We are marrying the lines. So that is essentially sewing the 2 ends of, we got the old line and the new line. We sew them together so that when we can pull it through the block and it fits through and we don't have to run up there and manually rove it through. There's no real technique to it. You can do it with tape as well. Generally you sew it and then put tape over it, especially if you're going through quite a lot of blocks.
With over 12 kilometres of rope aboard the Duyfken, and much of it natural fibre such as manila and hemp, which only lasts about 5 years, lines are constantly being replaced.
This is the lower block for the mainstay. So we're just putting a temporary stopping on this block to keep it in the strop, and then we'll get it set up under load and I'll do a proper seizing on it once it's set up and under load.
It's obviously got to go through the block a few times.
The tall ship Duyfken sails every Friday and Saturday from September right the way through to the end of May. You can join the crew as a volunteer and learn how to sail a tall ship, or simply come along as a member of the public and step back in time, sailing in one of the best harbours in the world, while also learning the history and the stories from a bygone era. After the new braces have been run through their blocks, tallow is then added to the lanyard. This will make it easier to pull the blocks closer together. When they can no longer be pulled by hand, another block and tackle is added to the working end of the lanyard to pull the blocks even closer. In this modern age, the art of the tall ship bosun is perhaps dying out. But Andrew is more than happy to share his extensive skill and pass on how ships were traditionally rigged and have been for hundreds of years.
Yeah, so we've set this up now. We'll leave it overnight to stretch a little, let some of the tar leach out, and we'll set it up again in the morning.
So we're over on the North Wharf where we do all our rope work maintenance. We are making new tacks for the fall course and for the main course. So this is currently a main course tack that I'm working on. So our main course tack has a tack knot on the end, which is a double woolen crown. Then you've got this over here is the unlaid rope that we then combed out, tapered and combed. And then this over here, this white line, is the marling, which is just a series of hitches coming down to keep it all. We use tape on this one just to make the marling a little bit easier, but you don't have to. And then we serve over that because the tacks experience quite a lot of friction through the clew of the sail, the corner of the sail where the tack goes through. And so we serve the part that goes through the clew so that it makes it last longer. I'm serving with a crucifix. It's just laid the marlin over here, and as go around, add an extra turn to keep this under tension. So this one's ready to be served next. You can see the double woolen crown knot there, the marling keeping all the combing down without the tape. And this is what it'll look like when it's done.
Andrew's stropping the blocks for the spritsail lift.
So we want to make sure that the block doesn't fall out of the strop, so we're going to do a seizing. So to do that, we've set the block up under load, and then we've used the Spanish windlass to bring the two sides of the strop together so that we can do the seizing, and then we'll take the Spanish windlass off and the seizing will keep the block in there. This is the Spanish windlass over here, which is essentially just a piece of rope that we've twisted, and as we twist it, it pulls it together. And then we'll do our seizing here.
Here's the seized blocks for the spritsail finished and seizing's done.
And if you want to see what it was like sailing the Duyfken down to Hobart for the Australian Wooden Bow Festival last year, check out the playlist. I'll put the link below.